Welcome, everybody, to the PCC Institute for Health Professionals podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Pete Wright, and I'm here with Morad Noury, an instructor with IHP and member of the Oregon Council on Healthcare Interpreters. Thank you so much for joining us, Morad.
Yes, thank you for having me.
We are going to be talking about healthcare interpreting today, and I think, in terms of background, I wonder if you could share a little bit about what is happening in Oregon and the nation that has changed the landscape of healthcare interpreting.
Well, as you know, Oregon has the law on healthcare interpreter, and this happens all around the nations because the issues of quality in interpreting, the issues of accurate interpreting of what is said by the healthcare provider to the patient and by the patient to the healthcare provider are of utmost importance. That's why the law was implemented in Oregon to regulate many issues in this field, so that the quality of interpreting and the quality of communication between healthcare provider and patients are accurate and complete.
Okay, so I understand it. What we're talking about is the individual, the professional who is sitting between the healthcare provider and the patient who is speaking a different language, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, I imagine that the experience base or the sort of skill set of an interpreter has to be really quite vast in terms of just understanding the vernacular of the various sort of healthcare situations.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I think is most fascinating, and I'll ask you to talk just a little bit about the PCC program shortly, but I have been hearing more and more folks who sort of kind of grew up, younger people who kind of grew up between grandma and the doctor, and have been actually interpreting all along and didn't even know it. They just sort of grew up in this role and suddenly realized that they were that they had a sort of a specialty by dealing with sort of family medical challenges. Now, the Oregon law now says that you need to be certified. Is that correct?
Well, yes, there is a requirement for qualification and certification, and the requirements are in order to be qualified, an individual must be at least 18 years of age, demonstrate proficiency in both English and the target language, have at least 60 hours of formal healthcare interpreter training in a classroom setting, and have at least 40 hours of documented interpreting experience. And to get to the next high level and be certified, that person must have at least 80 hours of documented interpreting experience, which comprise 40 hours additional to the qualification requirement. And finally, pass an oral and written national certification test from either the National Board of Certification for Medical Interpreters or Certification Commission for Healthcare Interpreters.
Who would you say it would be a great candidate for healthcare interpreting? Who would you say would be, in your experience in the classroom and as a medical professional, what is the skill set that or the demeanor or personality of somebody who would be perfect for this role?
So when we're talking about who may be better or best in that situation, I would say that the person who underwent the formal education or training is the best candidate for this role, because while undergoing the formal education or training, they obtain the skills in medical terminology, anatomy and physiology, medical ethics, and concepts of interpreting.
I know that the Portland Community College, the IHP program, is focused on the ethical side of the healthcare experience. I wonder if you could talk for just a bit about why you see ethics as so important, in particular in healthcare interpreting.
Yes, first of all, what is ethics? Generally speaking, ethics defines concepts of right and wrong conduct, and recommends how moral outcomes can be achieved in specific situations. We usually talk about code of ethics, meaning a set of moral rules or guidelines for professionals to observe and follow in performing their professional duties. In a healthcare environment, an interpreter playing a crucial role in healthcare provider-patient communication has to continuously make ethical decisions related to accuracy of interpreting, confidentiality, impartiality, cultural awareness, transparency, and etc. There are so many moral values at stake at the time when interpreting is performed that you can't get away from making appropriate consideration for everyone who may be affected by interpreters' actions and decisions.
How long have you been involved in interpreting yourself?
Well, I would say more than 2 decades.
And you, in your role, I said in the introduction that you are on the Council for Healthcare Interpreting, the Oregon Council for Healthcare Interpreting. What is your role, and why are you why do you find yourself so passionate about this field?
First of all, I'm passionate about this field because, as I said, I've been involved in interpreting and translation business for more than 2 decades. And I'm really thrilled with the opportunity to share my knowledge and experience with other professionals in healthcare interpreting who decided to take important steps towards qualification and certification. And as I said, I'm a member of Oregon Council on Healthcare Interpreters, where I'm also a chair of the committee for making amendments to the Oregon administrative rules concerning the healthcare interpreters, so that the procedure of qualification and certification are much easier for those who decide to be qualified and certified.
The healthcare program at IHP, has it launched officially at this point?
So it's going to start this coming winter.
Oh, this coming winter. So it's coming soon. And where would you recommend people go to get more information on the program?
So I would recommend to go to the website of Portland Community College, CLIMB program, and find there the healthcare interpreters interpreting program, where they can find the schedule, the fees, and other very important information in order to be enrolled in that program.
And for those who are interested in more background information on healthcare interpreting and changes in licensure and the role of the Oregon Council on Healthcare Interpreters, is there another site that maybe has more information on the current situation in Oregon?
Oh, yes. I will encourage the people to visit the website of the Office of Equity and Inclusion at www.oregon.gov/OHA/OEI.
Excellent. That's actually one of the easier URLs that the Oregon.gov has done. I don't know how you got so lucky. But usually those things are a mile long. So visit this one just out of novelty alone, oregon.gov/OHA/OEI.
Correct.
Morad Noury, thank you so much for your time today. We absolutely appreciate you being a part of this program.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. The Institute for Healthcare Professionals podcast. Again, I'm Pete Wright. And on behalf of Morad Noury, we will catch you next week on the show.